Peace and blessings, everybody. Welcome to the episode of Political Street. I'm your community ambassador, Mr. Robin J. Anderson. Before I get started, I'll give my disclaimer, okay? On Political Street, Political Street is not a political endorsement podcast. We're here for information purposes only. On Political Street, I interview business owners, community leaders, and elected officials, all right? So with that being said, I got that out of the way. It's interesting how things happened. Divine, most definitely, because I was just going to help a friend out who needed a ride to go to an event. Jew Don, he wanted a ride to S.H.A.P.E Center for the circle. What do they call it? The Elders Circle, right? Mm-hmm. And so I thought they had canceled it because of the fire that happened and whatnot. Right. But Jew Don was like, no, they have it at the other building. Mm-hmm. So drove out there, picked him up. We got in there, sat down, and everybody was all engaged and whatnot. And then two sisters walked in. I felt the energy from behind me. So, I don't know if I call you Sister Jupiter, Miss Jupiter. I don't know how to address you.
Sister Jupiter, Stephanie.
Stephanie, okay, yeah. Miss Stephanie Jupiter and Miss Busi.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes, Peters Moore.
Peters Moore. All right, gotcha.
Moore.
So
like it was V, it would be Vaughn, with the M it's Moore.
Moore, gotcha. All right, so I brought them on because we were sitting down and the circle was almost it was almost over with, but everybody was reflecting what they do, and so and y'all said something that resonated to me, so you know what, we got to get this out there on more waves and things like that, and so that's why I brought them on. So I'm gonna let them explain to what it is. But what I do first is I get a background of who you are, where you grew up, and then fast forward to now. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Sister Jupiter, you first. We're gonna ask you where you from? Where'd you grow up?
New Orleans, Louisiana.
Okay, all right. We don't hold that against you. We Texans over here, Nah, I'm teasing. What about you, Sister Busi?
I'm from the birthplace of hip hop, the Boogie Down BX.
The Bronx. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, that's debatable. But we'll put a pin in that. We'll come back to that. So, statistics show that when there's a father and a mother in the household, that kids they're successful, right? Mm-hmm. Quote unquote. How'd you grow up?
With a mother and a father in the home until the age of 21.
Okay.
And then they divorced. So.
Wow. And it's unfortunate that, that's slippery slope. I don't want to go down that one. Yes. We'll leave it where it's at. All right. What about you, Sister Busi?
My parents were together and they legally separated when I was in the 5th grade. Mm-hmm. Still very much still together for the most part until I left to go away to college, and then she asked for an official divorce.
Gotcha. What college you attend?
I came to Houston, go to TSU. That's what brought me to Houston, Texas Southern University.
We talked about that. I forgot about that. I don't know why I asked her.
Yeah, I know. Come on, PV. Sit down, PV. We had this conversation.
Yeah, I know what it is. Prairie View, PV. What about you, Sister Jupiter? What college you attend? Did you attend college?
I attended Xavier University.
Yeah, HBCU in the house is all HBCUs up in the house.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree on that. Okay, gotcha.
Xavier is an HBCU.
No, it is, but I'm just saying, Prairie View is a better school. That's all I'm saying.
Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I give it to you. I'm not. School is just school.
It is. No, it's just.
I didn't want to go to none of them, but in order to do what I needed to do, I had to get my degree.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. Yes.
Gotcha. So, what did you want to do? That's a good way to segue into that. What did you want to do when you went to go to college? What did you want to do?
Well, I knew that I wanted to be a medical doctor. Mm-hmm. So I initially wanted to be a pediatrician, and then I detoured into podiatry.
Interesting. All right. What about what you want to do in college? You want to be an engineer? Or?
No. Initially, I was majoring in interior design. I went to Fashion Industries High School, which is the high school to FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology. That I also always envisioned going away to college and going far away to college, right? Because I'm an adventurous spirit. I like to travel. I like to see things. I like to explore and be curious. And so my objective initially was to go to college in Hawaii. I wanted to go to college in Hawaii, learn how to surf, and but then I also wanted to go to a historical black college as well. And I didn't think about that clearly. So towards the end, when it got closer for me going, then I had to think about, wait a minute, HBCUs in Hawaii, and not only that, but Hawaii being really far from New York, and concerned about how that would affect my family financially. So I looked up one day the top HBCUs, and Texas Southern was in there.
It was like number 20. It was. I
don't even remember what number it was, but the reality was Spirit said to me to go to college in Texas. So it was like, it's go to Texas. It's far. And so I was like, okay, then I just had Texas on my mind. Spirit had told me Texas, and then I happened to see Texas Southern. If I might have saw Prairie View on there too, but it didn't say Texas.
Right.
So I didn't know.
Prairie View.
It says Prairie View A&M.
Right. You're right.
So if it would have said Texas, I would have looked into it too. But because it said Texas Southern, and Spirit had told me Texas, I just.
No, it makes sense. I'm being funny and whatnot, but no, I think that for the last three episodes I've had, HBCUs have come up, and I do believe that HBCUs are needed, but I'm going to say it. So about maybe 10 years ago, I went to Prairie View to talk to a college professor, and he said something to me that kind of like rocked me in my core. I said, well, why? So he said that when slavery was over with, you had these elite Caucasian people that met, and they said, hey, what are we going to do about these slaves, these free slaves, right? It's okay, well, how about we just get in their own institutions to keep them out of ours, and then that's how they came up, you know what I mean? And so even with the curriculum, everything was all strategic, programming and whatnot, you know what I mean? And so I was kind of like, man, so I'm part of a project, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm still grateful because, going to Prairie View, it raised me, in a sense. It helped me find myself, from the professors I had. My political science professor, Dr. Mario Obadeli, God rest his soul, he was ex-Black Panther man, and he was just very intentional with everything he said to us, and I think that's what had me to where I am today, So tell me how the climate was when you were in Xavier at the time.
Climate, New Orleans.
Like socially wise?
Socially wise, New Orleans is growing up, it was a very much black-white town. And so I didn't really have exposure to other cultures growing up. And so going from elementary that was predominantly all African-American to high school, I went to St. Mary's Academy.
That's a Catholic?
Catholic,
okay.
All-girls school.
Oh, wow.
We only had one Caucasian sister come through, and she only lasted about a year. And then transitioned to Xavier. Same thing.
Right.
So I was kind of in my bubble.
Gotcha.
And the climate was very nurturing.
I agree.
And that's what Xavier was known for. For, putting the most African-American students into medical school. So it was a no-brainer for me to go there and to just kind of still stay in my bubble with my family until I went to medical school later in California.
Gotcha.
And that was a different culture.
I was going to say it had to be, because you don't see a lot of white coats with brown skin in them. You know what I mean? So
you do now, but
back then it was rare.
It was rare,
yeah.
And so
I'm sorry, this microphone y'all bothering me. I got a little OCD. So anyway, all right.
You're fine. But just to speak to what you're talking about, I could see how the programming for the different colleges, because Busi always talk about she don't like to call herself minority because we're not minority.
Right.
However, when you go to the HBCU and Xavier, that's the first thing we're taught. You got to work hard because your skin color.
Good point. Good point.
And so these messages is like you less than. And you don't have what other cultures have. So you got to work harder.
Right.
And that was very much prevalent at Xavier University and other HBCUs.
It's and it's unfortunate, but I think like even now, I mean, of course, I hadn't been to school in like almost 20 plus years, but I think that even the curriculum now, even in the high school level, they're not being taught anything. They're taught to basically take tests to get out into the world, and then like they have no kind of social skills no more, no kind of adaptability, like nothing. I'm like this. So it's like to me, I really feel like we got to take this back into our own hands.
Exactly.
You know, start either homeschooling or something. Something's got to give. You know, and so after college, where is Miss Jupiter? Where is Sister Jupiter?
So, like I said, I traveled after Xavier. I went to San Francisco for podiatry school. I lived there for 5 years, and I did 1 year in Los Angeles. And then I went back to New Orleans and opened up my practice.
Wow.
It was called Soul Butterfly Foot Care Center and Healing Temple. And inside of that temple I had, which is my purpose on this earth, is the Science of Life University.
Sure. Okay.
It's a purpose discovery school. Because for me, the biggest thing is being aware of who you are and your unique purpose for being on this planet Earth.
Okay.
Is how we free ourselves and stay free.
Y'all see why I brought her on? That's why, like, you know what? I got to get them here because that resonated with me. You know, because some people spend their whole life trying to find their purpose. You know, so but when you find your purpose, the universe, whatever we gonna call it, opens up and it attracts to you. You know what I mean? Right. It don't be as hard.
That's
you know?
it. That's it. So as I was traversing through and navigating the American school system, I was intuiting my purpose at the same time. So when I said I wanted to be a medical doctor, it was because my soul, which I call my inner guru, told me, just go to school to be a doctor, didn't care, but there's some things I needed you to learn and see. So it wasn't about that degree for me. It was more about gaining a degree in self-mastery. And so I got a degree in peaceology. At the same time I was doing my podiatry degree, my soul was putting me through peaceology. So I go now by the name of peaceologist.
Okay, gotcha.
Because that's what I studied.
Gotcha. Makes
so
sense.
I came here to end this, help us, or to assist us to end this internal conflict within ourselves. Because we have our own innate intelligence.
I agree.
And that's that's our purpose, is to deliver that into this world. Wow.
You know, y'all, I wish I could say more about our conversation when we had off the camera, but we talk about everything from AI to, anyway, so, Sister Busi, what about you? Where after college, where were you at?
After college or?
Yeah, after the Texas Southern.
So I actually wound up graduating from University of Houston downtown, and I went home. I went back to New York for a bit, and I was working for the Negro Ensemble Company, the first black theatrical company, theater company ever founded, and I got my undergrad in information systems. Information technology. So I was doing database there, and at the time, actually Samuel Jackson was a starving artist. You know, working as a actor with the theater company and navigating addiction at the time. Right, so a lot of our who's in the entertainment industry and in theater, not just theater, but in actors and actresses. Period. Got their start through the Negro Ensemble Company.
Wow.
The who's. I'm talking about Denzel Washington, Felicia Rashad, Esther Rose. You know, the list goes on.
Is it still around now?
Yeah, they're still. This is in New York. In New York City, is based in New York, and that's and Glory. The film Glory was a play from the Negro Ensemble Company that became a film. So is it? Am I saying the right one? Is it Gloria? Or is the one that
when Denzel was a soldier? Yeah,
but who was that? Robert. It was the film with the brother. No, it's not Glory. It's a soldier story. A soldier story is a Negro Ensemble Company play that became a film.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because I know I want to know how did y'all meet, because I don't, you're on one side of the United States, and you're on the other side. Like, how these paths cross?
Yeah, well, Houston, you know, because I went home for a little bit, but I wound up coming back to Houston. I wasn't, the plans was never to go back to New York to stay. I just went back after I graduated to spend some time with my family. More importantly, I wanted to spend some time with my grandmother, she was in the house with my family, and I was raised with her, my mother, and my father. So I was blessed to have like two mothers, as I see it, and one father, and aunts and uncles in a huge community that I came from. So I came back to Houston, and I was, from that time, I had done a lot of traveling. By the time I met Stephanie, I traveled to a lot of countries. I'm an educator. And started an import-export business called Sequoia Imports, where I have bags that I designed that are handmade by a women's group in Machakos, Kenya. And I had taught in Kenya. I had taught in Ethiopia by then as well.
Like what part? Addis Ababa?
I was in Addis Ababa.
Okay, gotcha.
I was based there. And I was based in Nairobi when I was teaching in Kenya. And so by the time we met, we both had our own organizations. I had started WOO, Women Healing and Empowering Women. It's an arts healing reentry program where we shine a light on the fact that our women have been outpacing our men going to prison due to the intersectionality of being unhoused, and more importantly, domestic violence, shining a light on molestation, rape, and incest being at the root of women in prison. And really learning that over the years it is not just at the root of women in prison. This is the root of men in prison too. Like, sexual abuse is what built this country. This country was built off of sex farms and breeding farms. And actually, we were taught, growing up, with so much information and emphasis placed on our ancestors on plantations growing cash crop, whether it was tobacco or candy canes and all sugar and all those things. But really, the real cash crop was coming out of those sex and breeding farms, where they were producing 10 to 20,000 bodies per month, And so that was really the real money that was being made, and that we have no idea that sex and breeding farms were so rampant, and it was in the DMV area. It was in the the DC, Washington DC, Maryland, Virginia area, where close to proximity to the White House, where the fondling fathers, as I call them.
Not the founding, but the fondling.
The fondling fathers.
Wow.
And we plan on getting some T-shirts made for our conscious concept T-shirts with the fondling fathers on it. Have it crossed out, like instead of founding fathers, these are the fondling fathers. The first men of that were presidents. They owned our ancestors. They thought they owned them. That they had our ancestors in captivity. And they were raping them, So there actually is a series that's out about the first ladies, and it's dealing with Michelle Obama and Eleanor Roosevelt and Betty Ford. And it showed in there is a Showtime series where they're giving Eleanor Roosevelt a tour of the White House before they move in, and she goes to this door and she opens it and sees it's a secret door, and the woman that was giving her a tour is looking all shocked, and she's like,
"You can't go in there, yeah."
And she's like, "Oh no, she said they said it was here. This is where they used to bring the people in captivity through this secret door for the presidents to sexually abuse, right? I mean, this was actually in the Showtime series where she says that, and I was like, wow, check that out. So we, at the time, both of us, the universe had a plan for me and Dr. Jupiter over here. She's, as you know, she's a podiatrist. So, and I do believe she's from the planet Jupiter. She's not from this planet. She's from the planet Jupiter. She came looking for a playmate, and I was like, hey. And so, because I've always loved Dumbledore, I'm a game. So, but we also were both in the game of fully living and wanting the best for our people, And the time, and we both have daughters, and they're like right behind each other. Our oldest is just months apart, and our youngest are just a year apart. And at the time, she was pregnant with her second daughter, and I have some two sisters in our lives they were doing a health fair. And she happened to be one of the vendors at the health fair. And I went around looking, and I came to her table and asked her at the time. She was a co-founder of this organization called Building Relationship Power. Relationship Fitness Center. Building Relationship Power is the company she has now, but Relationship Fitness Center she's a co-founder of this organization, and she began to explain to me what it was about. This was an organization that the purpose of it was the fact that we go so many places to get fit. You go somewhere to get your hair fit, your nails fit, your teeth fit, your body fit, but where are we going to get fit for relationships? And that, more importantly, the thing that really captured me and made me fall in love with her as a spirit was when she said, that we all too often, when we think of the word relationship, we think about it in the terms of romance, as opposed to every person in your life is a relationship.
Yeah, I agree.
And that the most important relationship was the one with yourself.
That's right. You're right.
Right, and how, and that it is an indicator of how healthy you are is based on those relationships.
Interesting.
So the work that Wu does, Spirit was like, oh, you gotta grab this sister because this is at the root of the work that we're dealing with. Because we're not here, the way Spirit gave me the download to do this work was coming from a place that Spirit said, you're not going to do this work like the average re-entry program does their work, which is to put a Band-Aid on a shotgun wound, where we are giving folks training and job training and job placement and get them some housing and things of that nature. And it's like, but Spirit said you have to get to the root of why they found themselves in this predicament in the first place. Why did they attract this lifestyle? How did this happen? This has to do with their relationship to themselves. Right? And so I knew that this was a part of the puzzle of putting the folks back together. That the relationship piece was a huge piece of the solutions, because we wanted to come from more a solution-oriented place as opposed to putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound.
Gotcha. So when you were vending at the event, what were you vending?
Relationship Fitness. We were marketing our business. We were just brand new to Houston. At the time I was married. That was my co-founder of the organization. We came here because of Hurricane Katrina. And so after we saw that, we couldn't return to New Orleans because it was just too much to rebuild. And then I was 9 months pregnant with my first daughter. And
so that was 2005. Right. Okay, gotcha.
But I think we met maybe 2006 or 7.
It was 7.
Once we got settled, and I, had to nurture my child.
I think it was more. No, it was more like 8, because you were pregnant with all.
And she's 2009.
Nah, yeah, 2008.
So I was vending for that company that we were seeking, because I had chose not to return to the medical field at that time, to give a chance for this, business of self-knowledge, education, chance.
Gotcha.
And it was a new city, maybe, different mindsets. And we wanted to plant our seed here.
Gotcha.
And so,
Houston is fertile soil. It's a different climate. It's an international city, not so much like New York, but like New York in a sense. It's not as much as the fastness of it, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. But
Yeah. Well, I came to Houston in '83, and I can tell you I was a part of the energy of that international vibration shifting and changing, and watching things begin to shift and change. Because at the time, it was still very much not an international city in 1983.
Check. You're right.
But what I did notice that there was a lot of Africans, there was a lot of Nigerians here because I went to TSU. A lot of them came here to go to college. And that is something that I noticed when I was, at the time, my first love was from Chicago. And I didn't realize how much growing up in New York, the exposure I had to all these different cultures and ethnicities. And I think the difference between New York and Houston, even to this day, even though, people are saying that Houston is more of an international city, is that we, even though New York is a very segregated city, it's very segregated, yet everybody's on top of each other too. And we're forced to mingle with each other because we're pedestrians. It's a pedestrian culture, and it's also a mass transit culture. So it doesn't matter what one's class is. They don't associate walking or taking public transportation as being something that's lower socioeconomic. You can see a very wealthy person that's very famous on the subway.
Right.
Or just walking down the street.
That subway, y'all, is a different beast, man. I not to cut you up, but I just thought about you triggered a memory. I was coming from the car to Senegal, and we had a 13-hour layover. So we landed in New York, and I was like, I'm not going to sit in this airport for 13 hours.
Right.
So I had met a young lady going on to the car. We had a layover in Morocco. So anyway, so she's from New York. So I called her up on the way back. I said, hey, we here. She said, okay, well, hey, take this subway, do this, I was like, wait, what? So, but she got us from the airport to Times Square, and then went from there to Harlem, and I was like, wow, so I got a chance to see the Apollo. I ain't going inside, but just to be on the outskirts of it, man, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
As far as the self-awareness, how are you using like the sound bars? Are you doing Reiki healing? Yoga? Are you punching him in the face? What are you doing to make him say, "Hey, find out who you are"? I'm being funny, y'all. She don't punch nobody.
If that's what it takes.
Oh no!
By any means
That's
necessary.
it. Right.
But I consider it a mental arts approach. So just like you have martial arts, but we do mental arts, which martial arts is really a mental art.
It is. I agree.
So tapping into the mind and in the soul.
In the soul, gotcha.
So the first thing I'll do is seek to connect to a person soul to soul. Because that's the jewel, as we was talking about earlier about currency. And what's very valuable is a soul. And this is what, when you see people controlling, they controlling the mind in order to capture the soul.
Right. Wow. Good point.
Okay? So,
good point.
So I seek to connect on that level, but the mind is the gatekeeper.
Okay.
And so first I'll assess the health of the person's mind. And what we look for is something called artificial intelligence virus. That they may be infected with.
Okay.
Which basically means that a person may not be aware of their own innate intelligence. And as we talked earlier, the mind runs off of intelligence. So if it's not aware of using its own and eating its own intelligence, it will grab out
everything, right?
And so we call that artificial intelligence.
Wow.
And once we determine the state of that mind and if it's infected with that, then we offer a way to heal it and cleanse it out. So we do what we call a mental detox.
Gotcha.
To clear all of that AIV out.
So I want to, this is a slippery slope, but I'm assuming that your demographic, your clientele is mostly people that look like us.
It is. That's who I attract the most.
Okay.
But the university is open to everybody.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, but I think that, well, from my perspective of how I'm observing things, our community needs it more, right? No? Oh, wow.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Because of coming through HBCs, we were taught that we're the bottom, and everybody else got it going on. Untrue. Once I made it to California and went to school, and I was one of four and one of two.
Okay.
I'm very clear that AIV is not,
it's not
irrespective of culture, skin color. It don't discriminate.
Interesting. Okay.
In order for people to oppress other people, they're infected with AIV. Their soul not telling them to do that.
Good point. Good
They're
point.
programmed too.
Wow. So, but no, it makes sense because, like, on a micro level, they always say that racism is taught, right? So just like you said, how AVI it's a learned behavior.
That's
you know what I
it.
mean? And so that's interesting. Interesting. So, 2025. What's your organization looking like? Is it trying to grow? What's the purpose of it now as far as moving forward?
Well, we have two different organizations, and we work together. We don't try to do anything.
Okay.
We either we're going to do things or we're not going to do them.
Check.
Right? So we are doing things, and we're moving forward. We're in our fourth year of the Be a Ripple movement.
It's called BIA, right? Now?
BIA,
okay, gotcha.
BEAH.
Right? I saw that.
It's in honor of this sister named Bea Richards, who is an ancestor now, and just an extreme dynamic spirit warrior who came in the incarnation of a woman from Vicksburg, Mississippi, and an actress, a poet, an activist, an artivist. And she wrote she played the Sidney Poitier's mother in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. And was nominated for an Oscar for that.
Wow.
She was very, very particular with the roles that she took.
Rightfully so.
Very similar to Cicely Tyson. She just had a very Congo warrior energy that Hollywood did not know what to do with.
Right. That sounds about right.
Yeah, they didn't know what to do with the sister because she was unapologetically empowered by her ancestors, her family lineage, and she had these very prominent features of women like the real Eve, very melanin rich skin, of dark pigmentation, and a large nose and lips and this beautiful body. She was a gorgeous sister. And she had the images, super curly, thick hair, which is features that the West and Hollywood did not celebrate, and tried to make women who looked like her feel like they were inferior, where she did not.
Wow.
She did not. Like, she knew how fly she is, and she relished in it. And any role that she took, that she had, even if it was just for 1 minute, you were going to remember her and remember her presence and the energy that she brought. And she was a mentor to a lot of actors and actresses, and had a center in Los Angeles. So she wrote this poem in 1951 titled "A Black Woman Speaks of White Womanhood, White Supremacy, and Peace," and won a prize that led to her going to New York. And she sat under the feet of Paul Robeson and W.E.B. Du Bois. She was at one point the same political, views as they did. And
I think back then they were considered Republicans.
No, I mean from a standpoint of being not like I'm having a brain fart. Not Russia. I mean, how Russia and those parts are
Communism.
Communists.
Okay, gotcha.
They were more, of the communist belief system of, thinking that things should be distributed fairly amongst all people, as opposed to this capitalistic society.
Not to cut you off. I just had a conversation with I was telling you about Meek's Vegan Pizza on Holman.
Yes.
And he was saying that, and I'm trying to remember that the president and his help, Elon Musk, are coming up with a new type of basically capitalism is basically kind of it's run its course, but then as far as like communism, because where Elon Musk is from, he's from
South Africa,
right? So
not communist.
Yeah, it's not coming. What they call it? God, dog, I forget what they call it. Apartheid.
Yeah,
right.
It was America.
Right. So they're coming up with something kind of infused with AI, and something else or whatnot. And so, but I was like, so I see communism because I just really just looked at the word has come like commune in there, right? But then I understand the capitalist society. Because let's say when your business does what it does, and you're being productive in a sense, right? And the fruits of your labor are going to be what it is. So it's like how do you find that middle ground of both of these types of
mindsets or belief systems? I mean, at the end of the day, they're just belief systems,
right?
And they're not. They're on paper. All of them are on paper. None of them have come into fruition in the real, in real life. You know,
wow.
There's different models and certain aspects of them that we can see, but it's not. It hasn't fully flourished in the way that it says. I mean, in a so-called capitalist society, a lot of the inventions of our ancestors who invented these things, they didn't get the attention, they didn't get the notoriety, nor the money. Right. So is capitalism? Are we really living in capitalist society? I mean, we're living in a country where our ancestors, for 500 years of labor, that we didn't get paid for. And so you have people to this day who are trying to play like, oh, that's something that happened so long ago, get over yourselves and let's keep it moving. And it's like, okay, let's keep it moving. Just give up the blood money. Give up the blood money, because you have all these corporations that are still in existence right now, and families that are still have benefited and are still benefiting from all that blood money. So it's like, okay, fine, we can forget it as long as you give up the blood money.
Right.
And then we can say, let's keep it moving and forget about this stuff now. But whenever you say that, then it's like pushback.
Yeah, you're right. But I'll say this, because we talked about this at Meek's Vegan Pizza, but this system is clearly not in favor of us, right?
Correct.
So if we took the Marcus Garvey approach and not even just go back to Africa, how about we just go somewhere in Mississippi and all the 14% of who African Americans are migrate there and deal with each other, will this country still survive?
Well, I want to get back to fully answering the question that you asked about where we're at for 2025 for the organization, right?
My bad, I got a little attention.
And so, because it connects to the question that so we can answer that question. So go back to that, right?
Okay.
So this woman, Bea Richards, as I shared, wrote this poem titled "A Black Woman Speaks of White Womanhood, White Supremacy, and Peace," and she wrote it in 1951. And everything that she states in it is going on to this day. You would think that it's something that she would have written maybe 5 months from now.
Right.
That's how on point and accurate it is.
Wow.
And so the ways seeing this documentary about her life, it was a documentary, an HBO film that this sister Lisa Gay Hamilton did a documentary about her called "Bea, A Black Woman Speaks," and I got turned on to her from that documentary. So she has a lot to do with, she's a part of the puzzle of why WU even came into being.
Gotcha.
And there was a lot of things that was leading me in that direction anyway, because I had started this import-export business called Secret Water Imports, as I shared, and had women making bags. And so Spirit had given me the download to bridge a gap between those of us in the diaspora and those of us in the continent, and to bridge a gap by way of empowerment of women.
Okay.
Because that women, using the two proverbs that our organization uses is, when you educate a man, you educate an individual. When you educate a woman, you educate a nation.
Makes sense.
And first the women heal the women, and then the women heal the men. So as the mothers, we're the first teachers, and it's really about if you get women's mind together. And they know who they are, and they're fully loving themselves. We can lift everybody up.
Good point.
Because brothers, they're willing, they doing whatever. It's like, you're gonna do whatever you're doing, though, is to be with me. And so if I was to, just, shut the booty down and be like, I mean, we could stop crack dealers, we could stop all kind of nonsense.
Good
going
point.
on.
I'm laughing, but it's the truth.
They're based on just shut the booty down, baby. Shut it down. And there's been actual proof about this. So our organization is an arts healing organization, and we use all forms of genre of the arts to educate folks on the intersectionality issues and as in a way to give us our own platforms to create artistry, to heal. And one of the programs that we have is called the Second Chance Conference, where we would, in October, because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we would show films and then have a panel discussion. And in one of the films that we show, we wound up screening this documentary called Pray the Devil Back to Hell. And it's based on these women in Sierra Leone and Liberia, where this one sister had this dream. Spirit came to her and told her, bring all the women and go to the fish market and take off the makeup, take off the earrings, take out the weaves and the wigs, and just come as yourself.
Yes, you are.
And wear white, and come and until there's peace. Because at the time it was when Charles Taylor was running amok with the so-called Black Diamonds, and they were killing people to force them to work in these diamond mines and cutting off babies and adults' arms, saying short sleeve, long sleeve, and all of that. And initially, when the women were meeting, they were saying, we're meeting, and it has nothing to do with affiliation to religion or political issues, nothing but peace. We're only meeting for peace. And so some of them happened to be Christians, but it wasn't about that. And then some Muslim sisters found out, and they were like, what? And they started meeting them. And men started laughing at them. They were like, what are they doing? And they laughed at them. They like, oh, really? Okay. We're going to shut it down, sisters.
Oh, no.
We're going to shut it down. Where is Charles Taylor right now? Where is he?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, well, he is in a international prison.
Okay.
Is where he's at. See, that's what shutting down the booty can do.
Wow.
It led to him being, and those brothers was like, get him. And put, and put
They
his,
turned on it. Like,
yeah.
hey, man, wow.
Yes, and that led to also the very first woman president in that region. And I can't remember if it was either Sierra Leone or Liberia. One was the first female president.
Gotcha.
In modern times that it led to. So we know through proof, and there's more than just that. There's different times in society that women have done that. They said, we're going to shut it down. And it elevated the men, right? And so if women would just know their power, if they fully knew their power, in spite of being in a patriarchal society that tells them that they came from a man's rib and that, although everybody else comes out of our vagina after that.
Right.
So it's just like, okay, buying into such things. But if you really knew, if we really know our power, then we would know how to fully love ourselves, and then we would attract healthier partners in our lives, whatever one's sexual orientation is. We would be able to attract a healthier person in our lives.
Gotcha.
And then if we choose to have children, be able to produce and teach healthier children to be productive.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree 1,000%. I'm going to say this because we got to get out of here because time is kind of running a little long. But it's going to be kind of cliche. I had this dream. In the dream, all my dreams usually in color. This was in black and white for some reason. But as I was walking down the street, and there's a cornfield or something to the left of me, and there was some women in the cornfield, and they're talking to me, but their mouths aren't moving. They're talking telepathically, right? So up ahead, maybe like about 30 yards, was a house and a man sitting on the front porch. So I looked, and he was like, hey, come here. His hand was kind of musical like this. Hey, come here. So I'm walking up to him, and when I looked at him, it was Martin King Jr., right? Okay. So he says, hey, we don't have a lot of time, so this is what you got to do. So I'm like, what? And so either way, he gave me a charge, and when I woke up, I said, okay, I need to write this down. In it, I'm going to give you part of it. I'm going to give you all this. He's basically saying that when we focus on the women, everything else follows. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, wow. And so I was like, okay, so right now, I mean, I know that it's not mostly us, but people that are on government assistance that look like us,
yes,
they are basically relying on the system. But if we can pull them out of that and then meet people like you and yourself, and help them to navigate and become more productive again, everything changes. You know what I mean? And so, but that's on me on my soapbox. How can people find y'all on social media, or if it's a website, phone number you feel comfortable? How can they get in contact with you if they're interested in what you got going on?
They can find me through the website woonow.org. That's WHEWNOW.org, or through email info@woonoworg.org. They can also find me through Gmail, woonoworg123@gmail.
Okay.
As well as social media, Busi Peters.
Spell that for them.
Busi.
Okay.
Busi is the first name, last name is Peters. And also through Facebook on that, as well as Instagram, and through our group page, which is Women Healing and Empowering Women.
Okay.
And Twitter, WooNow.org. There's a lot of different variations of WooNow.org. They just keep, looking at WooNow.org. Someone with a underscore. But if you just put WooNow.org, you're going to find us in those different forms.
All right. Dr. Jupiter, about yourself? You on social media?
So, yes, you can find me through Woo. Definitely one on, partners. But my personal page, YouTube, The Peaceologist. We also have a website, brpi.org, which is short for Building Relationship Power Institute.
All right.
As well as we are now redoing our Soul University, because we ran underground for a long time.
Okay, I understand.
So we're now coming above ground, but on the virtual. We do have a location in West Houston, but the website for Soul University is SOL for Science of Life with a hyphen, university.com, and you can start requesting information, signing up for classes. So we're going to run just like a regular university.
Gotcha. And it's needed too. I think we take back how our kids are being taught. I think they say everything is going to shift immediately. So
we're all ripples, so this is why we have the Be a Ripple movement, and this is our 4th year of doing this movement. It culminates in April, because April is Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. Is also Poetry Appreciation, so we use this poem by Bea Richards that is the foundation of the work, and also because it's Earth Day, so we want to shine a light on the fact that as this country was built off of the rape of our ancestors, is also built off of the rape of the earth. And so we want to connect those dots. And it's also Melanin Magic Women's Month in April.
Okay.
So we are honoring Bea Richards through this work of using, and also Jessie McGuire Dent, who's a ancestor from Galveston. And there's a facility that we use for our ritual that we do in April, in honor of our ancestors, asking to cleanse us and to deal with the traumatic intergenerational traumas, to heal from the sexual abuse, and to dream big, to eradicate sexual abuse. And I don't want to leave without fully answering your question. I don't believe that it's about us moving in one little spot in Mississippi or I believe that we are citizens of the universe. We're citizens of the universe, and we have a right to move around this earth any way we choose to. And that what's most important, because as the Wiz and the Wizard of Oz would say, home is within us, right? Because this is just a vessel that we're using. So it's more about getting our minds together, wherever we are, wherever we're located, that we spiritually get our minds on point, and remembering that we are not our minds. We have a mind, we're not our minds. We have a body, we're not our bodies. We're infinite spirits, and that we're one. We are one. We're one, and so we have to figure out how to heal ourselves, and how to be able to connect with other people who are doing their work to heal as well, regardless of whatever their ethnicity or their his background is. Because all my skin folk ain't my kinfolk.
That's true. You're right.
You know, and
right
there's some
that.
European descent folks that I cut with better than people that are my so-called skin folk.
I agree.
You know, they have a level of consciousness and they get what's going on in this big machine on a global level. They get it. And so when it comes to education, we are the educators of the world. The first universities came out of the continent.
That's right. I agree.
So so even if they want to say, "Oh, we're creating schools for these people," no, baby, we taught y'all what a school is. You didn't even know what a school was.
Right. Yeah. One of the most influential books that I read was Stolen Legacy.
Well, that's what I was thinking
James.
about. The whole time she was talking, I was in here thinking about Stolen Legacy.
Yes.
When you were talking about how there was a few things that you said that made me think about Stolen Legacy. Oh, when we were talking about innate intelligence, and Stolen Legacy stated that actually we need to demand all the books be rewritten, all the books, because this is not only a misnomer for those of us who've been conditioned to think that we are inferior, is even more critical for those who have been taught that they were superior.
Right.
And which is why we see them acting out all the time, their anger, their frustration, and their jealousy. Because
it's confused admiration.
It is, it's very confused because they're like, wait a minute, but I was taught that we run rings around them, but they keep running rings around us. No matter what we do to them, they keep rising, they continue to just flourish and be creative.
We are, right.
And it's like, well, we're the parents of the human race. We are like, this produces this. This doesn't produce this.
Right.
And it's not to say that that's inferior or superior.
Right.
It is what it is, though. We are the parents of the human race, and they are the babies.
Yeah, and I think the mindset, like you say, is that they, even saying the word black power doesn't mean it's anti anybody else. It's just like you can say, white power, whatever it is, brown. It's not anti anybody else. And I think that when we say that, they feel some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what's the issue was been going on for these last, 400 or 500, 600 years or whatever. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know. I tell y'all what, because this can go at least another 2 or 3 hours.
It's a construct, though.
It is.
These words are those black and white. They're all constructs.
Right. I agree.
Which is why I don't. If you notice, I don't use that terminology.
That's why I do my best to stay away
from. I stay away from black. I stay away from white, and I'm talking about the scientific terminology. There is a such thing as melanin.
It is.
Right? Melanin is real. That's not a construct.
Right.
We have it. Some of us have more. Some of us have less.
Right.
And because there was a sister who is a albino, and she got offended by me using the term
albino.
Melanin. No, I didn't use albino, but she got offended because I was using the word melanin versus black, and she preferred to be called black. And she said, well, I don't have any melanin. And I was like, well, I was told that everybody has some form of melanin. For you to have none, like zero, I don't think that you could have zero melanin.
I don't think so either.
And she got really angry with me. They all got upset with me that I said that. Like, why are you telling this person who's an albino what she's doing with her body? And I'm like, because that's impossible. Like, everything has some melanin in it from a scientific standpoint.
Yeah.
But yet I'm wondering, you're upset with me about the term melanin, but you're not black. You want to use the term black, you're not black.
Right.
You got more melanin than black.
Right.
I don't see black on you at all, sis.
Right. I tell you what, if you guys promise to come back, because we got to stop right now because we got a little long now. I want to go because sometimes people, and you see what's going in the background. You know
right.
So,
what do you? How do we see it?
So,
how do we answer that?
I'm going to say offline. So, either way, hey, y'all, make sure, first of all, thank y'all. We say, but you got to come back.
Oh, for sure.
All right, got to come back. We're going to talk more about everything y'all got going on.
Yes, and we want to say happy Women's History Month and Women International Day. It's an honor to be here with my sister for, during this month as that is celebrated. And that was a big part of the work that we did was around the International Women's Day celebrations and events.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. But so this is going to be posted on YouTube, and I'm going to, you're going to see some shorts first, and then I'm going to post it and whatnot, all right? So if y'all follow my movement, Paleika Street, you can go to PaleikaStreet.com, get one of these T-shirts. You got to kind of scroll down, click the button, get 2 or 3 shirts and whatnot, because this is all self-funded, for lack of a better word.
Yes.
I'm on Instagram, Paleika Street, Facebook, Paleika Street, TikTok, Political Street. I'm on X, but I'm not really on X. I hadn't really been on it in a while, you know. But you know, anyway, it is what it is. So until next time, y'all. Peace.
And blessings.
All right, let me turn.
Definitely want to give a shout out to Political Street, man. That's one of the coldest names you can have. Because we out here in these streets, but these politics is trickling down, so it's all intertwined, man. So we got to figure out how to work it the way we work. So shout out to Political Street.